Hi there, welcome back to MyFSY. This is another level 1 program that we're calling our Intro to Yoga series. So we're assuming that you've either never done yoga before or you're at least out of practice and want a little refresher. And we're just going to show you a few of these poses that are really indispensable, that you're always doing really no matter what style of yoga you practice even. They're great for creating more flexibility and strength in the legs. And because of that, you'll find that these 3 simple poses tend to make your spine feel longer and feel more supple because the spine has enough support from the legs below. So they're called the standing poses, or 3 of them anyway. There are a bunch of standing poses. These are 3 key ones. To find your stride, you need to come onto your mat and walk your feet well apart. How far apart? Typically, because most of us sit at chairs so often, we're just not used to taking the legs away from each other in that direction. So when I teach beginners, a lot of times I see people sort of perplexed by just walking out with the feet. If that's the case for you, if you already feel a little tightness in your thighs, okay, we'll just take baby steps to do it. You might even heel toe your feet a little away from each other. Don't overdo it. You don't want any sort of overly intense sensations on your inner thigh. But ultimately, you want to try to get the feet wide enough so that if you were to take your arms out, you would see your ankles underneath your wrists. Can you look side to side in your own body? See that your ankles are under your wrists? Don't go too wide either, right? What happens if you go too wide? These are the people who are naturally overly flexible. Like, oh yeah, got it. Okay, flexible is good, but wider is better. No. If you're too wide, then you actually will you'll prohibit important stabilizing muscles from being able to do their job. Okay, so don't go too short. Don't go too wide. How wide should you really be? Ultimately, ankles under wrists. Ultimately. So you've sorted that out. Now, bring your hands onto your hips. Turn your left toes in slightly. Turn your right toes all the way out. What in this ham hell did that just mean? Okay, go back to the beginning. Start with your toes aimed straight forward. So you need them to be in a neutral position, meaning they're parallel to each other. Again, turn the left toes in so that the left toes are now slightly angled toward the right side of your mat. Turn the right toes all the way out so the right toes face the short side of the mat. Now that can be a little novel too, a little disconcerting. So take a moment, spread your toes a little bit, broaden the soles of your feet. Try to make good contact with your feet so that you feel your own stability. Then very simply, start to bend your right knee and stack it and track it till it's over your ankle. The common mistake for most beginners is for the knee to be too far to the inside of the ankle. Try it again. Straighten the leg as though we're on a railroad track. Stack and track the knee directly over the ankle. And then once you've done that, just try to center your torso between your 2 legs. So this is the shape. One leg is bent. Make the other leg straight. Center your torso between your 2 legs. Simple enough, right? Straighten your right knee. Turn your feet back to parallel, meaning your toes are aimed straight forward. Then from parallel, right toes in slightly, left toes all the way out. Once you have that, start to bend your left knee so that, again, it tracks and stacks directly over the ankle. Take a look at your knee, because sometimes what you think you're doing is not even close to what's actually happening. Stack your knee, look at it, make sure it's right over the ankle. One leg is bent, the other leg is straight. Center your torso between these 2 legs. And then release. Straighten the left knee, turn your feet parallel. That's the foundation of the pose. Let's take it into the full culmination. So from parallel, turn the left toes in slightly, turn the right toes all the way out. Same deal, you'll start to bend your right knee till it comes over the ankle. Sometimes when you're bending the knee, can you feel it? How like it's like the rest of your body's energy follows it? No, keep the knee bent. Center your torso right between the two legs. Then the culmination would be you taking your arms out wide to the side. Arms wide in the shape of a big hang glider wing. We call this Warrior Two. This is a vital pose for realigning the legs, for strengthening the legs. And if I asked you to hold it for another minute, you'd probably be like, oh my God, yeah, whoa, yoga actually feels like it's kind of a workout. Bring your hands on your hips, straighten your right knee. Turn your feet parallel to each other, which means remember, toes aim straight forward. Then right toes in slightly, left toes all the way out. Again, bend your left knee, track it till it's right over the ankle. Center your torso between your two legs. Take your arms out wide to the side. We call it Warrior Two. They called it, rather, the inventors, hundreds of years ago, called it Warrior Two. And they found out that these type of poses are a wonderful way of strengthening the legs, realigning the legs, and giving adequate support to your core body, which is your spine. Remember that. Your core is your spine. Straighten your left knee. Bring your hands on your hips. Turn your feet parallel. Walk your feet all the way to hips width apart. Hips width. So you just take a moment and feel sort of the residual effects of that pose. You might feel some residual tone in your leg muscles. You might feel a deeper appreciation of both legs funneling and sort of supporting the uprightness of your spine. So that's one observation. Let's do the next pose here. Can you walk your feet out wide again? How wide? Don't go too wide. Don't go too narrow. If you're too narrow, you can't really open up or lengthen out. So how wide? Ideally, you should have ankles under wrists. Okay. Once you found your stride, bring your hands on your hips again. Turn the left toes in just a little bit. Turn the right toes all the way out to face the short side of the mat. Keep both legs straight. This is called the triangle pose. And the common mistake in triangle pose is that once you've turned your toes out, a lot of times your knee will still be turning in. And it causes a little torque in the knee, which is pretty unpleasant. Turn your right thigh out so that the thigh, the knee, and the foot are all confluent. They're all going in the same direction. Keeping your legs straight, simply tip your pelvis to the right. Tip your pelvis to the right until you start to feel some healthy stretch on the back of your right leg. When you get to that point, which we call the edge, you just put your right hand down on your shin. Stretch your left arm up to the sky, as I'm doing now. And feel the expansiveness of this pose, the triangle pose. The legs are nice and open. The arms have an opportunity to open. And if it's all feeling pretty well balanced for you, go ahead and turn your chest open. Turn your chest open to the sky. Bring your left hand on your left hip. Push down in your feet. From the strength of your feet, come back up to standing. Always turn your feet back to parallel, so you always come to neutral. Then turn the right toes in a little. Turn the left toes all the way out. Remember the common mistake? You turned your foot out, but somehow your knee is still turning in. There's a discord in your body when that happens. And that's when injuries start to occur. So look at your left knee with your own eyes. Observe the knee. Turn it the same way the toes are facing. Also turn your left thigh out. Deep inside its hip socket, turn the thigh out. With your hands on your hips, begin to tip the pelvis over to the left. Tip it over. You'll probably reach a stopping point, and don't worry, right? Sometimes your stopping point is like, whoa, that's it. This This is your stiff place. That was me for probably, my beginning days, first classes. And then as you start to get a little bit more familiarity with these poses, your natural flexibility comes back to you. And one day you find, all right, my hand, it's now on the shin. Stretch your right arm up to the sky. Breathe. And gently turn your chest open toward the ceiling, toward the sky above. From the strength of your feet, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Bring your hands on your hips again. Turn your feet parallel again. Walk your feet to hips width apart. Hips width. And again, just notice the alignment of your legs, the tone of your legs. There's something that's been activated. And yet the relaxation of the legs from that previous stretching part, that there's maybe not as much gripping or stiffness at the backs of the legs. They feel both toned and loose. The third and final pose in this core basics intro to yoga program is called the side angle pose. Once more, you walk out to that same foundation. And how do you find it? You take your arms out wide. Put your ankles under your wrists. Bring your hands back to your hips. Turn the left toes in slightly. Turn the right toes all the way out. Just like the first one we did, you'll bend your right knee and you'll track it over the ankle. However, this time you'll lightly rest your right forearm on your thigh and stretch your left arm all the way over your ear. This is called the side angle pose. And side angle, I'm assuming it got its name because your body makes a clean angle relative to the ground. You can see now that the whole left side of my body is about 45 degrees relative to the ground. Keep pressing down in your feet so you feel the strength of your legs. Then keep breathing so that from that strength you begin to lengthen out through your spine. One more breath. And from strong feet, come all the way up to standing. Bring your hands on your hips. Turn your feet parallel. From parallel, right toes in slightly, left toes all the way out. Again, bend your left knee till it comes over your ankle. Lightly rest your left forearm on your thigh. I say lightly because sometimes people, when your legs feel tired, you just kind of collapse. Don't collapse. Lightly rest your left forearm on your thigh. Stretch your right arm over your ear through the sky. While you might think the legs are fatigued, they actually have so much untapped potential. The legs are so much stronger than most of us give them credit for. And they were designed to be the workhorses of the body. So say, all right, come on, legs. Fulfill your destiny. Push down into the feet. Breathe. And lengthen the sides of your waist. Breathe. Let that waist length travel all the way through to your neck and head so the whole spine feels long. The whole spine feels long. Inhale, come all the way up. Bring your hands on your hips. Turn your feet parallel. Walk your feet to hips width apart. We should give them all a name, shouldn't we? We call this the mountain pose. And the mountain pose is just conscious standing. Not standing at attention, not standing in your habitual way, whatever your thing is. Just standing with attention. With attention. To the balance of your head over your chest over your pelvis, and your pelvis over your two aligned legs. So that's it. Simple. Those are basics that you'll be seeing over and over again with us if you participate in our videos, which we certainly hope you do. If you're feeling like you've got a little bit more left in the tank, feel free to check out any of our other Intro to Yoga videos, or proceed right to one of our relaxation videos. It would be a nice completion to this little practice we just did. See you next time.